Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. In today's exciting episode, well, I did a little bit more beading and a little bit more work on my Make 9s, but I haven't actually finished anything, but it's looking very pretty. So, that's something.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So I was supposed to be ironing my fabrics and cutting out my Make 9 jackets, and I also thought about filming everything that I made last month, but it was too cold to just stand around. So I'll show you the jacket I have been working on because I just sat on the sofa with a blanket over my knees yet again. And then at the end, I'll talk to you about my Make 9s because the one with the little miniature bits of food, I'm going to do a Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake sort of thing with that one. And so this is the jacket that I showed you. Well, I didn't actually show it to you. I showed you sort of a close-up with the tweed. And some of you always want just a still photo of the actual tweed. So there it is. And last episode, I said I was thinking about doing the hanging down beads. And I do like this idea. I think it's a really cute idea, but I don't know, I just done 2 jackets with those hang down things in a row. Plus last month I did all those other ones. So I just felt like also I'd done 2 layers. This is a pretty robust tweed to begin with. And then I did 2 layers of structure at the back, like netting as the structural layer. So I felt like it could take much more than just a handful or 2 of those empty big plastic round beads. So as you can see, I started using lots of different ones. So I had this big bag full of, I've got those big plastic hollow pearls. I've got some slightly smaller, also mint glass pearls, so they're quite heavy. Then I've got the flower ones, and then 2 completely different types of flower ones. And then I've got the knot balls. I just thought, as I said, I'd just done these 2 ones, and I like the way these turned out. I'm really happy with them. But I just felt like, I think because it's also another pink one, and I mean, I know I'm using green beads on it, but I just felt like, I don't know, I don't want all my jackets to look the same, but I mean, they're literally all Chanel style jackets, all made of tweed, all got beaded trims on them. So, I mean, but I just wanted each one to be distinct in my way of making them unique, if you get what I mean. So yeah, and as I said, I'd done a lot of that hanging down beading, so I feel like I'm pretty good at that technique. So then I went back to just stitching individual beads onto the tweed, and I'll put a link in the description box below to my beading tutorial where I just go through how step by step, really boring, well, not boring but necessary, how you actually do this. But yeah, it was difficult because this one has the silk lining already sewn in, so you sort of have to navigate around that, so it's kind of frustrating. But I was sitting on the couch on the sofa, and I was nice and warm, so it was all okay. And yeah, so it's going to have 2 layers of beads. I did 2 layers on the cuffs. I'm not sure if you can tell. So I did this one simple layer, and then I sort of did another layer which kind of makes it look a little bit messy, and I wasn't sure about it. I was like, it definitely looks cleaner and clearer and crisper with the way I've done just around the torso. But actually, as soon as I put it on the mannequin, I was like, no, I like the cuffs better. They're busier and more chaotic, but it's actually in a good way. I like it. Plus, it has that little bit extra weight. So I decided, yes, I will do both layers, but obviously first you have to do the whole of the first layer, then you can do the second layer. I'm not sure if you can see, but I've actually stitched some fluorescent orange thread in here, and that's so I've measured where I can bead. So yeah, that's my guideline. So then I went and did some more work. So I'm using the big transparent flat flower shaped ones, alternating with the large hollow plastic pearls as my base layer, and the other 3 ones and some other random mint beads that I have will be the second layer, so to fill it out. So I started going up the first side. The second side is going to be such a pain because I actually have to match the rows of beads. It's going to be such a nightmare. And then I got up onto the chair so I could show you around here. So yeah, I decided it would be easier just to do the neckline row, and then instead of trying to do all three at once, because the thing about the ones that go around the neckline is it's not just a straight line where all three rows are equal. When you go around in a circle, obviously the top circle is much smaller than the subsequent, like the circle 2 and circle 3. So what I'm going to do is the whole of the small circle, then go back down the center front, fill in that side, matching the other side that I've already done. And then I'll go back and fill in row 3, the largest of the 3. And then I'll go back with whatever pearls and whatever flower shaped transparent beads I have left. I'll fill in the middle. So yeah, because I'm not sure, like I sort of worked out how many beads, but I think I'm going to be a little bit short of the big plastic pearls. So yeah, I'm going to have enough of the transparent vintage 1940s looking flowers, but the pearls I'm not so sure. I like that I used a small, plain, opaque mint green bead in the center of the flowers. I think it's just enough of it's different, obviously, than the transparent sort of faceted flower. But it's, yeah, I like the simplicity of it. So anyway, that's what I'm up to with that one. I know, yeah, it's going to take me a while to get the whole of the first layer done. And I think the second layer is going to, as I said, add the kind of weight that it needs. And yeah, I think it's going to look, the little bit of chaos is going to make it look visually interesting rather than just pretty. Because I think if you just had the one layer, it's really pretty, but pretty verging on boring. So I'd rather have a little bit more in there, and that way, well, I'm using up some of my beads as well. But yeah, I think visually it's more interesting. Anyway, so that is the work sewing wise that I have done, but I've also done a little bit more work on my Make 9 jackets. So there's a couple of things. Oh, the fabric store had a online sale, and like they're just clearing out random things from the warehouse. So I bought this quilting cotton fabric that looks like it has fireflies on it. It's so cute. Well, it looks that way to me. If it arrives, when it arrives, I'll show it to you. There's 3 yards, which is enough to make a simple dress with a short, tiny little bolero matching. Next one, for the grey wool jacket that's going to have gargoyles on the sleeves, what I can do is just make a standard jacket, and then because there's a little bit extra, and I can make and then I can do like a second sleeve over the top that's shaped. There's 2 ways. These ones by Victor and Rolf with the words are steamed wool. So I guess you could do that. But I'm thinking more the other one, I can't remember who it is. So this one is Victor and Rolf. They had this whole collection like this. And then the next one with the skulls, they're pieced. So it's all these different pattern pieces sewn together, made into a 3D object, not shaped like you shape a hat with the wool coats. So this one here, I think it's really early Tom Brown. I'm not sure. Anyway, and then the matching bag. So yeah, I think I'll just make the plain grey wool jacket and then do a second false sleeve over the top that is shaped, maybe. Or maybe I'll just, there's lots of gardens and parklands in Paris that have gravel, grey gravel, and then green grass and really manicured hedges. So I might, I don't know, I'll make the grey jacket and then somehow turn it into one of the Paris ideas. And then we have the Marie Antoinette one. So I bought those, I ended up buying those little miniature loaves of bread and the croissants. So there's crescent croissants, which are plain croissants, and then there's chocolate croissants, and then I also bought some little cakes, some opera cakes with all the different layers. So I've bought some pink fabric with white squares on it, but I also remembered I've got these strawberry jackets, and I'm just going to cover them all over. I've got some pink sequins as well, and I'm just going to cover them all over with, I've got pink flowers too, so it can just it's just going to be really, really opulent. And then on the back, I think the triangle is going to either say let them eat cake, or it's going to have a donation and like details of how you can donate to, people who are starving in the world. And I can have printed cards as well. So it's not just, grotesque opulence for the sake of opulence. There's supposed to be a point to it. So yeah, but also I want to make it technically just really amazing as well. So yeah, so that you look and you want to look at the whole way round, like every little aspect of the jacket, and then I'd be like, yes, and while you're here you can donate. So, and then with the floral jackets, what I was going to do with those, I really like the You've Got Mail idea with the iris, because I've got blue iris and I've got a few purple flowers, and it would be so good to use them up in one jacket. I also have these blue beads that will go with it perfectly. So I definitely want to do that one, and I definitely want to do the firefly one, because I'm just obsessed with fireflies. I think they're wonderful. But also I just remembered I've got these gold flowers. They're gold orchids. I bought a stem of them, and also I made these two gold jackets. Was it last month? Yeah, probably. And I've used one of them to do with the gold on gold beading, so shiny. So I think I have done a little bit more on that one. But yeah, I just remembered I've got these gold sequins here that I can turn into sequin flowers. Or yeah, I do sort of have plans for the gold snakeskin one. So I got this other gold lame, so I could just make a plain gold jacket out of that and put gold orchids on it, as well as gold sequin flowers. I feel like I'm not really explaining it properly, but I don't know. I'll make the jacket, and that may turn out to be the floral one for my Make 9. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've been inspired to do a little bit of whatever it is you're trying to achieve at the moment. I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to achieve, but it's nice to get some of my tweed jackets finally beaded. I have to say that. They look so lovely. And I can finally sew the silk lining in. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and happy sewing.